Hey guys, what's up? This is Alcatraz, and this will be a Borderlands playthrough in honor of the new game coming out this September, Borderlands 2. Now, when I thought about it for a little while, I decided finally that Borderlands is my favorite game on the PS3. Like, it is. I love Call of Duty. I think it's really fun to play with friends, but it's not obviously like a single player game. I beat it on veteran. I beat the single player on veteran this over the summer, and it's not that fun. It's really not that good. And I love Skyrim. It's got amazing single player, but there's no multiplayer at all. There's none. So that's that fault. But Borderlands has that sort of single player multiplayer bond that not many games have. And this playthrough is actually going to be a dual playthrough with my friend Song of Storms. And I've decided to play as Roland, who I played in my first playthrough, when I already have a level 61, or the highest level, 69, or whatever level it can be. The highest level 1 character, Roland, just because I love him, and he's a beast. And my friend is playing as Mordecai. And this series will be called Rise of the Black Banditos. That Black Banditos is an inside joke, but that's alright. It's for another time. And I honestly, guys, I'm sorry for being gone for so long. I can explain it to you over this ridiculously long 18-minute gameplay. And by the way, you guys, all these gameplays are going to be really long. They're mostly going to be about talking to you guys about stuff that I've been doing, but it's just like, they're good to talk about stuff, and I can't play Call of Duty, because this is why I got a message from Rightful the other day saying, why haven't you been posting gameplays? And that really inspired me just to make a gameplay. And the reason I'll explain why I can't play Modern Warfare 3 or online games at the moment. This was actually recorded back in late June, but whatever. So, when I'm in Michigan right now, I'm in a 3-story house. I know, my grandparents have a sum of money. They do very good things. And the internet is on the first floor with my grandparents' computer. I'm on the 3rd floor and so far away from the internet box that I can't, my computer hardly gets any internet, much less the PS3. I'd be one-barring and just getting terrible gameplays and stuff like that, if I could even get the internet. So what I decided was I would move the router, I'd move the box to, we're calling the 3rd story room, which is my room, which I'm in right now, it's called the Loft, L-O-F-T. That's just what it's been called my entire life, so that's what I call it. So, I decided I'd move the router to the Loft, and I'd be able to play. And it worked for a while, and I had no problem, and we had no problem. But then my grandfather was kind of hard-ass, and said, no, you can't move it, it messes up the computer. It messes up their computer, because their computer is hardwired to the internet. So what I would do is I would unplug it from their computer, plug it back in up here, and then just move it back whenever they wanted it. But my grandfather said, no, you can't do that anymore. I don't want it. It's breaking the internet. And I told him, no, it's not breaking the internet. I told him exactly what I just told you guys, which is that it's hardwired. And he says, no, you can't do that. So I was like, well, that sucks. And by the way, I die a lot just because it's fun. That obviously wasn't on purpose to die, but whatever. I just don't really care about living or dying. Anyway, so he then makes me not. So the internet is now 2 stories away, and just so far away I cannot use it. And so, and the funny thing is, he wouldn't let me use the internet, and then the next day, he tells me that he asked me pretty much without another option if I would sail his friend's grandson, who's like 7 years old, around during a race when the only week that my friend was here. And this made me really mad, because he didn't give me another option. He said, "Oh, will you sail with my friend's son, who's like 7, and he just learned to sail?" And I was like, oh, God damn it. Because, obviously, I wasn't going to tell him no, because it's his house that I'm living in, and then he wouldn't let me use the internet. But the thing that made it really bad was that it's the only week my best friend is in town. So, yeah. So I was just like, you know what, this is bullcrap. So, yeah. And so I can't really play Call of Duty because the internet is so far away. But I bet you I can get him to allow me to move the internet. And or we're going to Best Buy to get another router or internet booster so that I'll be able to reach it in the loft. Sometime soon, I promise, I swear. And then I'll start posting more Call of Duty gameplays and playing with you guys. Because I really do enjoy playing with you guys. It's fun when I have a group, a party online, and we're just playing games together, having fun, using whatever guns we want, not really caring about score, stuff like that. So that's that. So what I'm probably then you might be asking, wait a minute, how are you posting videos on the internet then? What I'm doing right now is I'm playing in the attic. I'm recording these in the attic, and I'll go back down to the first floor and put my computer near the internet box for the next, I don't know, however many hours it takes to upload it. And yeah, so that's that. And this gameplay, you guys, will be pretty much through the entire first playthrough, maybe through the second one. I haven't really decided yet, but we're doing almost every quest, I think, unless it's like a really sucky-ass quest. If you're new to Borderlands and you're playing and you've never played it before, I recommend everybody get this game. It's one of the great games that I've played on PS3. It's just an all-around fun game. It's got a great single player. I think it's a little weak that they made you replay the single player a second time, but the DLC is totally worth it. The DLC is really fun. Except for Mad Moxies, whatever. That's really dumb. But, yeah. So this gameplay will just be throughout. And, yeah. Let's talk about a story that I've had in Michigan so far. That's Zed. Kind of a beast. We can talk about my camping expeditions or whatever. So, I have a bunch of friends here. Friends from God knows where. They're from Colorado, Texas, New York. Some are from Michigan. I'm from California. Stuff like that. Oh, one's from St. Louis. And so, we have a great time up here. I'm the only one, though, that has a car. So I end up driving people around a lot, which is not fun, but it's got its benefits that I usually decide where we go. So, yeah, so one day we decided that we would take the car, drive down to this lighthouse that I live near, go up these 25, 30-foot dunes, like sand dunes, just pure mountain of sand, and put a fire on top and shoot off fireworks and have a campfire and make food and stuff like that. So, all was good until we realized that we were pretty much carrying about 40 pounds of stuff up a giant sand hill. We ended up finally getting it all up after eons of what seemed like hours of carrying stuff around, crap like that. And, we got the fire started, we got everything good, and then we met these people up there. And we were like, oh, hey, like, and they were like, can we stay at your campfire? And we were like, yeah, sure, we got no problem with it. So they hung out with us, enjoyed our fire, and then they left. Now, fast forward till 2 in the morning. My friend, my other friend, and my other friend are in the tent. So there's 3 of us in the tent, and one of my friends is tending to the campfire, which we were planning on keeping going all night. So, we're at this fire, tending to it. We're in the tent. I'm facing into the tent, so I can't see anything. But my other 2 friends, Mitchell and Connor, are facing outwards, towards the door where my friend Matthew is standing, tending to the fire. at like 2 or 2:30, Matthew gets hit by a stick. And Matthew goes, "Ah, what? Where did that come from? Like, what was that?" And my friend like, we thought nothing of it. We probably thought he just hit himself with a stick or something. Some stick got loose out of our pile and fell on him. Who knows? But they keep watching, and the reason I'm standing over here is because I'm telling him to go, like, work on the quests while I'm gonna turn him in so that we can just complete stuff faster. And he tells me, so we have a friend who says that he's looking out the door and a stick flies over Matthew's head. And Mitchell and Connor, and Matthew says, "What was that?" And Mitchell and Connor both blame each other jokingly, because they didn't actually see the other person while they were doing it. I don't know how. That's just what happened. So they just said, "Oh, it was Connor," and then it was like, "No, it was Mitchell," and they were just messing with each other, trying to get Matthew to be confused. I, on the other hand, who was really paranoid whenever something happens, like, I'm a really paranoid guy, I got outside, thinking that sticks don't just fly over people's heads. So I sat down on the cooler with Matthew, facing the other direction. I kid you not. Not a minute later, I look out into the forest and see a head poke out and pop down. And this literally scared the living shit out of me. Oh my god. I freaked out, started yelling to my friends, "Oh my god, there's somebody in the plants," because we don't know who could be out here. There could be some creepy people out here. Like, we didn't think it would be anybody. We didn't know that there would be anybody out here. So I started yelling to my friends, and they all flew out of the tent. We were all on our guard, grabbing sticks and whatever weapons we could find. And we're all like freaking out, trying to think of something. And then I remember, oh, Mo Quad! And then I remember that I brought a huge bag of fireworks. So my genius idea, which I will take complete credit for, was to light a pack of firecrackers, which are just small popping explosives, and light them and throw them into the bush. Because A, if it was an animal, it would run away. And B, if it was a person, they'd make some sort of noise. And so, we lit firecrackers, threw them into the plants, and heard nothing. And I told my friends, I'm not messing with you, I swear to God there was people in there. And they believed me still, and not, I don't know, 30 seconds to a minute later, they come running out going, "What the shit did you do that for?" And we were like, "Oh, it's you guys from earlier. Oh, alright." And it turned out it was just some people from earlier that we had seen just being douchebags trying to scare us. So, yeah, I get it's pretty, not an epic ending, but that was pretty much that. And it was, yeah, that was how that went. And, I had no problem with it. I just they had to end up leaving for some reason or another. And that's that. But we literally were up the entire night after that, just like scared out of our mind that something could be there. Who was going to be there? And we were just so paranoid, none of us really slept that night. And that was that. So, fun camping experiences. The other thing that happened was, on the 4th of July, my town has this huge fireworks display and whatnot. And my friend and I decided that he knew some girls that were in our area, and we're going to go and we're going to pick them up, take them, we're going to meet them in town for some ice cream, then walk over to the fireworks and watch the fireworks together. So, we walked into town, just kept walking around, doing whatever, and they didn't say anything, and they weren't texting him back, and he said, "Where are you guys?" And they said, "We're still at home." So my friend and I say, "You want us to just come and pick you up? Like, we're not that far off." And they were like, "Oh yeah, sure, like, come, like, but hurry up though." And so we're all the way in town, so we have to drive all the way back, lose our parking spot that we had that was really good for the fireworks. I'm not kidding you. This street is literally about... I mean, this town is literally about 6 streets, and there are about a couple thousand people, but for the fireworks display, I kid you not, 5,000 to 10,000 people show up in this tiny town. It just cannot handle it. So, so we pick them up. This takes another who knows how long, so the fireworks are starting soon. They want to go to the bathroom in some random town, and the fireworks are literally starting, and I don't want to miss them. So, we park halfway across town. I know that it doesn't sound like much after my description, but it's a decent walk. Halfway across town and start running to watch the fireworks. And on our way there, we see some other woman running, and one of our a little tipsy girls decides to say, "Run, Forrest, run!" And she turns around and goes, "Really, guys? Really?" And I don't know what happened next, but they were starting to laugh. And she turns around, the woman that was running, and says, "You want to fucking mess with me?" And the girls go, "No." And they're like, "That's right, you don't. I demand an apology." And she's like, "Alright, sorry." She's like, "My dad's a fucking chief of police." And we're like, "Okay." And my friend and I, the guy, there were 3 girls and us 2, we're like, just trying to keep them off each other, and we were just like, "It's alright, like, she's just had a little bit too much, like, calm down." And she ends up, like, leaving on her way, and we watch the fireworks, and they tell us they'll meet us out back at those same dunes. Oh yeah, that's the end of that story. But they said, this is still July 4th, they said, "We'll meet you out at those dunes, later tonight, and you guys can go home, do whatever you want. We'll meet you there in an hour." So, we forgot where we parked the car. And they already left, and we were going to meet them there like half an hour later. We decided to hang out in town for a little while. And we cannot find the car anywhere. We had a good idea of where it was, but we didn't realize how actually far away we did park. And the thing that made it worse was we kind of parked on some guy's, not lawn, but like some guy's kind of side lawn alley area. And we could not figure out where we parked. So, we're running through town, clicking the unlock button, can't find the car, and finally we found it like 20 minutes later. But we'll continue the story later, because I'm going to end the gameplay now. Before we go fight Ninetoes, it'll be the first thing in the gameplay. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good day. Peace. More stories to come. Peace again. Peace.